Hi, and welcome to The Art of Connection. As you probably know by now, The Art of Connection is a weekly series, and every week I bring some sort of expert on, or I talk about expert advice that I've gleaned, or I talk about my own experiences. And so today is no different, but I am switching up the format a little bit. Usually I use a teleprompter and I write the script and I show up clean cut, as a formula, and it works, right? But then there ends up being something where I feel a little bit disconnected from you. And the show is called The Art of Connection. So I wanted to try something a little bit different today. I wanted to screw the teleprompter and just talk to you. And today I want to talk about grief, relationship grief, partly because I'm going through it right now. So my intention for today is for anybody who is going through any sort of grief, whether that be relationship grief, grief with your work, loss of a loved one, whatever it may be. My intention is for you to feel heard and to know that you're not going through this by yourself. I'm not going to go into my story today because I'm not on the other side of it. But what I do want to talk about is the things that I've been doing through my grief that have been really, really supportive for me. I have been talking to people who have gone through it and come out on the other side. I've been talking to experts. I've been consulting my inner wisdom, my higher self. I've been talking to friends who have never gone through anything like this. And through everything, I've compiled this list. I've compiled the to-dos. I've compiled the things that get me up in the morning and put me to bed at night. And I wanted to share those with you in hopes that they can be supportive for you also. So first and foremost, I just want to say, no matter what stage of grief you're in, you are not alone. And whether you watch this today and you're with me going through this at the same time I am, or you watch this 5 years from now, grief is such an interesting feeling because when you're going through it, it can feel like literally the most lonely feeling you've ever gone through. And yet, when you look at the world around you, it is one of the most commonly felt feelings there is. You're not alone. I'm with you. I'm holding you. I'm so here with you. And I get it. I get it. You know, the hard part about this is, you can probably relate, but the hardest part about going through this grief is that every morning I never quite know which Baya I'm going to wake up to. So I can go to bed feeling like I've got this, I can do this, like I do see light at the end of the tunnel, and then I can wake up completely incapacitated, not being able to get out of bed, not being able to do anything. So I never know which Baya I'm waking up to, but then I never know which mood I'm going to be in minute by minute or hour by hour or day by day. What I've started to notice for me is that it's almost like a physical illness. Like I wake up, like, okay, so you know when you get a sore throat and you wake up and in the morning it's a little bit worse, and then throughout the day it gets a little bit better and a little bit better. That's kind of what I've been feeling is when I wake up in the morning, I feel like there's no possible way I can move forward. There's no possible way I can go on. And then little by little, as the hours pass, as the breaths pass, I feel a little better. I feel like I can maybe start to see glimpses of the light at the end of the tunnel. Then I wake up and it starts over again, but I never know how it's going to quite go. And that, I think, that's sort of where I'm sitting in right now is that's the really hard part. But there are things that I have learned from the people that I've talked to, from the things that I've just been doing that I feel like I have to do for me, that I wanted to share with you. So, one of the biggest gifts I've given to myself during this time, and one of the biggest gifts you can do for yourself, is to go inward when you need to go inward, and then lean on and rely on your community when you feel like you need to do that. For the first little while, I couldn't be alone. Like, there was no way in the world I could spend 5 minutes by myself, let alone an hour. So I filled my schedule as much as I could and talked to everybody about it. I told the story over and over again. They sat with me. I've had my mom rub my back until 4:30 in the morning at one point. Like, I have not been alone. And it actually wasn't until a couple days ago where my body started craving some inward reflection. And I started to go inward. So I'm giving myself the space, and I'm saying this to you too, give yourself the space to cancel plans if that's what you need to do, to make more plans if that's what you need to do. Give yourself the things that your body, that your mind is craving. For me, what has been really helpful is I have been seeing my therapist, who I see weekly. I'm actually adding on another therapist just to get a different perspective. I've also seen a couple psychics. For me, psychics are all, like, I love psychics. So I've been going to psychics. I've gotten an Akashic record reading, which is, I'd never even heard of it before I did it, but that was really incredible for me. And then I've been pulling. I have a tarot deck. It's called the Goddess. It's a Goddess tarot deck, and I pull a tarot card once a day, maybe twice a day, just to feel like I am somehow connected, and that I'm being supported by the universe, and I'm not going through this by myself. Social media is so strange. It's like such a strange component to this whole thing because it's so unnatural. Like, at what point did social media become part of the grieving process? So I've deleted him off of social media because that's what I know. That's one of the ways I know to grieve. And part of doing that was putting myself first. It's really easy to start considering everybody else's feelings, especially if there's another person involved, and putting those before yours. But for me right now, and for you, you gotta do you, boo, and do you first. And that's been a really big learning lesson for me. And as far as outside of just deleting stuff on social media, I've also just been trying to avoid it as much as I can. I'm on it a little bit when I need to be, but it's also not where I'm spending a lot of time because it doesn't serve me. It really doesn't feel like it's serving me right now. Self-care has been the most important and also probably one of the hardest. To drink water, to sleep. Sleep was like at the first few days, people were like, you've got to eat, you've got to drink, you've got to exercise. I'm like, you got to sleep. I'm like, sleep. I can't function, let alone sleep. So I started taking melatonin, I started taking Benadryl, like whatever it was going to do to get me to actually sleep, I knew I need to do that. I have been eating when my body isn't hungry because I know that's what I need, but my brain right now is not working for the better good of my body, and so I need to be the one who overrides the brain that is telling me that I'm not hungry and I need to eat. Again, self-preservation. You have got to take care of yourself. I've been exercising like crazy, even when I'm not in the mood. Sleeping, exercising. I'm not drinking. That's been a big one for me. Alcohol is a depressant, and the last thing I need is to add that extra component onto this. So I've just been trying to treat my body really, really well because for the whole situation that I can't control, that's one piece that I can. I've been writing it down. I've been journaling every day. And part of that practice is that I've been deepening my relationship with my intuition. I've been really trying to meditate on my higher self, on the things that I can do that make me more connected to what my body is telling me, what my inner voice is telling me, how my inner wisdom is trying to relate right now, the signs that I may have missed. Look, I'm a mess right now, but that's okay. I showed up today in my leggings and a sweatshirt because that's kind of the raw space that I'm in. And part of this is giving yourself that space. So part of the journey is also to not add on this component of self-judgment and being critical of the emotions that you're going through whenever you're going through them, and just being really soft with yourself. I'm looking for lessons, and I'm also fully aware that all the lessons have not unfolded yet. I've been doing canyon drives when I want to spend time by myself, which has been really good. Yoga, meditation. Again, this is all the canyon drives, the spending time alone when I feel like I need that. That's been really supportive for, again, the connection with my wisdom, my inner wisdom. What I'm not doing, and what I really, really want to guide you not to do also, I'm not beating myself up for where I am. I'm also really trying not to blame. Not him, not me. I'm really trying to take that out of the equation and just listen to whatever my body needs instead of trying to get all of these external, and listen, I'm human. Like I blame myself and I blame him, right? Like I do that. But as soon as I go there, I really, really try to cut it out as soon as I can. I'm also really committed to not resenting. So while I'm going through this process, while I'm really looking at healing, I know that the pain of hate, the pain of resentment, the pain of anger, while I may feel those right now, I am committed to coming out on the other side of this, not feeling any of those things, because I know that only does negative things for me. So I'm going to wrap it up here, and here's what I want to leave you with. And I'm talking to myself too as I'm telling you this. There's something really sacred about grief, because on the other side of grief are these incredible lessons that had you not gone through the pain of grief, you would never, ever be able to learn. It's the really sacred part of grief that I have got to somehow hold really dear to me. And I hope you hold dear to you too, because at the other side of this, I'm going to be a better partner. I'm going to be a better friend, a better daughter, and I'm going to be a better human in the world. Hopefully I'll be a better guide. So there's that. And I want to leave you with that, because it's going to be okay no matter how much you may not be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel right now. So that's all that I have for you today. The unfiltered, here I am showing up in my sweats version of Baya that I haven't been brave enough to show you until now, but I hope to connect with you. And when I say connect, I don't mean that lightly. I want you to know I see you. And I want to hear from you, and I want to know your story, and I want to just feel really intimately connected to my community. So if you have any input, if you want to dig deeper, if you want to learn more, you can go to my website. It's bayavoce.com. That's BAYAVOCE.com. You can sign up for my email list where I bring the Art of Connection to you every week. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll see you next time on the Art of Connection.